There's a Sbarro's pizza within 100 miles.
Link me. Link me.
Now I'm going to be taking a bunch of people through. We're going to be doing some Mythic Plus tonight with China.
3, 2, 1.
All right, well, welcome back to another week of Server Restart In. It's your weekly World of Warcraft podcast where three opinionated players get together to discuss their thoughts about the current state of the game. My name is Jim, and I'm joined by Brian and Kristen.
Hello.
Hello?
I did it at the same time.
Were we supposed to say it together?
Ooh. Yeah, you should have said it. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so the co-leader of Blizzard has decided to touch off another round of discussion regarding boosting and selling boosts, because apparently he said something or posted a tweet or something about that, about how his guild was selling boosts. I guess they're in the the money making phase for the gold making phase for the guild to fund their next Mythic runs or something along those lines. And let me tell you what, that lit off quite the powder keg.
Firestorm.
Did you think he was actually like being a part of the community and like by stating, like, come on, you got to like.
Here's the thing, right?
He had to have known that like he was going to get flack for that, right?
He had to.
I mean, I don't know.
You have to.
Unless he just assumes that because it's what these, like, I'm assuming he's in a Mythic level guild that does Mythic. And that's what they do, is they gear up all this and they earn gold in game so they can buy all the stuff to do their Mythic first stuff. And maybe he doesn't do Mythic first stuff, but that seems like it is a practice that these guilds do. So maybe he just assumed that because they do it, that it wasn't going to be a big deal. I don't know. I don't know what was going through his thought process. Maybe he needs to understand that he's now not just some higher up. Because I don't remember what he was before they made him co-leader or whatever. But he was a pretty high position anyway.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Assistant to the assistant of the regional manager.
I just don't understand.
I don't either. And I think that, I don't know. And like, I really don't care. Like, it just
what
says,
what is his title? What is his title again?
his current title, I think, is co-leader. Because they don't have a president or whatever. Because then they have two people in charge. I know, it's pretty fucking goofy.
Well, Jim, you think you do, but you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You got a point. But
Yeah.
it just feels, it's just a weird setup. And it just, I don't know. I don't see anything that necessarily comes down from the top or whatever. But he has been fairly active on Twitter, like, already. Like, even before this, and, you know, he runs high-end Mythic Pluses and all that stuff. I mean, he's a player of the game.
He's a player.
Yeah, not that kind of player, because they don't allow those in this game anymore.
Oh,
Shit. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, no, but, like, it's just, he's got a social media presence, and it just feels like maybe he needed to take a step back when he got promoted or whatnot. But even then, it's just like, I don't understand. Like, people seem to think that selling carries or whatever is, I don't know. I can see, I guess, kind of both sides of it. Like, because it is, people will probably buy tokens to sell for gold to get the carries, as opposed to, like, having farmed the gold themselves in the game.
Yeah, I think that's what the problem is it basically turns it into just real life money. Like, you're paying real life money to get ahead in a game that historically MMOs were time sinks. and you had to put in the time to get the money, and not putting in the time to get the money or the gold or whatever, and just saying, okay, well, I'm just going to put money down. As somebody who just did that in Guild Wars 2, I'm going to put money. It does not feel as satisfying. I would much rather they gave me a way to get these in game. They do, because they have the real life money thing too, where you can convert gold into gems or whatever. But it's easier to put my credit card in and pay with credit card. And
I think,
so it doesn't feel as good.
Can I borrow your credit card? I'll try and see how easy it is to.
Yeah, I think that if they had left the WoW token merely as a means
to pay for your sub.
Yeah. Like you could buy a token, either real life and use it, or you could buy it with gold in the game, but not from people that bought it, right? You know what I mean? It's just like, you just make it so that you can buy, or just take the token out completely and just make it so that you can buy game time, with X amount of gold. Now, I guess that really kind of takes some of the money value out of it, so it's hard to gauge how much gold time should be per se. But like, I don't know, that kind of really.
This dude looks like a reincarnation of the dude that they just fired. The one that was kind of the, I don't want to call him the smoking gun. I don't know what a better word is for all that mess. I don't remember what his name.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, Mike Ybarra does?
Alex.
Google him, and look at his first few of his photos. That an angle. You squint your eyes a little bit.
I don't know what
blur the image.
I don't know what Asfarabi looks like or whatever.
Asfarabi, ass.
I mean, he just looks like a dude that.
Asfarabi, is that? Oh, that's his name too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Alex Afrasiabi.
Yeah, I don't know. The bad guy.
I'm sure it spins off the. That's interesting. Yeah. No, if you compare the two. Oh, that's so terrible. What?
Yeah.
What is going on? Google the guy's picture. You'll see it. Anyways, carry on.
But. Oh my God. You weren't fucking kidding.
Wait.
Right?
They just look like your typical generic, like, dude with
bad
shortcut
guy?
hair, maybe a little bit of like 5 o'clock shadow going on.
Link me.
Oh my God, I can't. No.
Link me, damn it.
Just Google it. You are sitting at a computer. You can type in words.
Who am I typing in?
First look at
Go
Ybarra,
to Bing and type
then look
in
at
Google, and it'll take you to Google.
Ybarra, yeah.
Ybarra.
Freaking Ybarra.
Wait, what's his first name?
Mike.
Okay, because Ybarra.
When I read his last name, I think of Sbarro Pizza.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, me too.
He looks like he could be the manager of a Sbarro's.
Sbarro. Oh, Sbarro. Is that even still a thing?
Come on now.
It is. I think
it's the original extra large New York pizza.
I don't know.
Sorry, this is a
we're
WoW podcast.
yeah. This is a mall food court podcast now.
I'm now looking at pizza.
So he's a former Xbox executive.
It's
just
who you talking about? Ybarra? Don't care.
I can't see because
Sbarro?
Oh, there. Yeah, he does look very generic.
But then look up Afrasiabi.
Alex.
No.
Alex.
Yeah, well, you can just look up his first or his last name.
I got him. Never mind. I don't even need to go any further. Google showed me that I didn't need to go. Oh, okay.
Dude, there's a Sbarro's pizza within 100 miles.
They all look the same. That's weird.
Although there's this picture of Afrasiabi next to Ian Hazakasas, and they don't look the same. So you can't say that.
No, they don't look the same, but they all have that look.
Okay. Anyway.
That corporate look.
Yeah, let's get out of the weeds and let's get back on the fucking road.
Wait,
the road to boosting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to rein this back in.
Oh.
Like the reign of
thunder.
Chaos. Yeah.
Okay.
Reign of thunder. What?
I don't know.
Quit saying words and things.
Words are hard.
Oh man, but yeah. So his guild does that. He posted it, and everybody lost their collective fucking shit because boosting is killing the game.
Yeah.
I don't think boosting is killing the fucking game because it's at such a level.
The game's killing the game.
The game is killing
And
the game.
here's the fucking thing, right? If people want to fucking put their money in and get carried through some stuff, all it does is it cheapens it for everybody else that got it. And those are the people that really should be fucking bitching about it, not everybody else. It doesn't impact the World First Guild because they get a special title, right?
Do you remember, like, I mean, even if you didn't play in vanilla, there was still an issue in vanilla where people were doing this and they got flack for it, and then they wound up just giving these runs away for free. It was like Blackwing Layer or something like that they were running people through.
I didn't play that much vanilla. I didn't play any vanilla hardly, so I
But
wouldn't know.
it was a thing, and it's always a thing. Every single expansion, like,
even if they're not doing
why are
it,
we shocked by this? Why are we shocked by this?
But
two, you have a currency in the fucking game, and you're free to use it kind of how you want to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah, that's it.
Why is
right?
this like
you can't
that
control,
big of a deal?
You cannot control an in-game economy where players decide what they want to spend their gold on.
Like,
well, no.
If they decide that this is a thing, then
what do they do? Just start banning people for it?
well, I mean, like, you can't just there's probably things that you can't. Well, shit, can you do it with arenas? I guess you can do it with arenas too, can't you?
You could do anything.
I thought wasn't there something like they technically like said that's a no-no?
Win trading, I think. But like you could pay somebody to go in with you and carry you, like be good at PvP, but you couldn't pay like an opposing team to like throw the match so you could get your stuff up. Like people were doing win trading, and that I don't care for, right? That's kind of and when it affects stuff like that, yeah. But like if you have an in-game currency and it's like now when you're in a guild, right? And you're leveling, it's like, hey, can somebody run me through this dungeon? I need to get this done, right? If people around, they run you through a dungeon. That's boosting. There's no currency traded, but like if you want to like be like, hey, I need to run something through that, and like some noble soul, sees you in like trade chat or whatever, saying, hey, can somebody help me? And does it. It's like, no, don't worry about it. And then like you tip them, or you know what I mean? Like tipping mages. It's like, you're paying for something that's not like you're paying for another player to do something for you. So that's always going to exist. The only problem.
So what's the core argument then? Like the fact that you can buy gold with money and then turn around and pay for these things? Like,
I mean,
I guess it cheapens it because you can use real money to get carried.
I do think it's kind of weird that this
and-
guy's tweeting out shit like this. I mean, I would think if I'm any kind of leadership at a company like that, maybe that's not what I would. I don't know. Like a lot of other devs and stuff that talk about playing, like, don't advertise.
Right.
A lot of what they do, not literally advertise, you know what I mean? But like, don't put on social media stuff about what they're doing and crap. Have a private life, for God's sakes. Like,
right.
I don't know. I mean, in that way, if you're using your position to, you know what I mean, make the extra sale, then yeah, that's kind of fucking shady.
I mean, he wasn't saying, like, he wasn't advertising it on Twitter. I think he said that. I don't know if he was just saying, hey, I'm going to be streaming and we're going to be,
Right.
Oh, no, he said the words that whatever it was for their heroic SODs or.
Yeah. But he said that they were going to be doing that. He wasn't, like, soliciting people on Twitter for it.
Well, right, but it's in the same it's the same boat. I don't know if it's legal or not, but whenever you become some form of celebrity, whenever you don't have as many legal protections because of how well you are known, I mean, at that point, you kind of just fall into that. Into that boat.
He shouldn't be doing it, and just by saying it, it's like the problem is that people don't have a filter when it comes to fucking social media. And that's been that way for a long fucking time. People just put whatever the fuck they want out there and don't understand why it's a bad thing.
Yeah, it was likely streaming our heroic SOD sales run in highish end Mythic Plus tonight, starting at 5 p.m. So it's kind of like, I mean, I mean, at that point, you know what your position is. You have some moral responsibility with regards to the company you work for and the community that you serve in that perspective. That's probably not the best thing to be tweeting.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? The Blizzard has never come out and said that that's a no-no or it's frowned upon, right? But even in this perspective, it doesn't. You don't need Blizzard to say this. This is like potentially could be just taking advantage of your position. I mean, it's really obviously it's a lot different than the other ones, but again, it's somebody's in a position they're taking advantage of it type of thing. Even if that's not what he intended, even if that's not what he perceived whenever he did it, that still is the situation. I kind of get it now. I think it's a little bit of a hard stretch.
I see this being an issue with. Like, I don't think it's a hard stretch at all. Like, so first off, let's clear the goat. I don't know why, but if there's a goat, let's clear it. What's his actual fucking role at the company?
Co-leader.
Because this makes. But what the fuck is a co-leader?
They replaced. Was it?
A leader of Coke.
Coke leader.
No, I'm pretty sure it's him and some. It's the place of like the CEO or the president or whoever the fuck is in charge of Blizzard.
So wow, he worked at Microsoft for 19 years. That's crazy. Okay, so he's not young blood. He's been there for a while. Dang, he was at Xbox for over 10 years. No, 10 years. He was in Xbox for 10 years. Then he's been at Blizzard since 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so co-leader. You're right, co-leader. Yeah. Whatever the fuck that means.
Instead of having one president, they have two co-leaders.
Yeah, so yes, this is something you probably don't want to do.
Right.
Sorry.
You could. I mean, I could see that you could get some sort of.
Yeah, I mean, well, just picture it. Can you imagine Mike Morhaime doing this?
No.
Yeah, but he had like morals and shit. I don't know. I'm just making that up.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, at that point, though, even if you're making it up or not, then you agree with me.
No, well, it's just like I don't understand. I mean, I don't see how.
Don't get me wrong. I get irritated about the whole like let's all get pissed off and light everything on fire. Yes.
The only thing that he's done by saying that is apparently legitimize the practice.
Right.
Meaning, as co-leader of Blizzard,
yeah.
he basically carries the official rubber stamp of Blizzard with him whenever he says anything. So if he says anything that is related to the game or something with the game, it's almost as if Blizzard itself is saying, this is approved.
Right. So, like, if it was kind of one of those things that was kind of like, oh, it's a gray area before, now it's like, well, it's not a gray area anymore because the co-leader of Blizzard is doing it, it must be okay, you know? Which is frustrating.
Yeah. Well, you know what sucks, too, is that, like, when you read one of the articles, it's completely surrounded by, like, fluffy garbage, trying to make it worse than what it actually is. Like, I will admit that. Even the first tweet that somebody had on there that the screenshots from, about, I think you said, like, Jim, boosting hurt the game so much, you should work how to fix that and not boost yourself. Guilds need money, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so, again, I think that you got money in the game, right? To a certain extent, it should be supply and demand, as it were. Like, there's no reason
really
to...
All it's done is it's made it easier. It's more lucrative to do that now because you can charge more because people can get more money more easily. They can get more gold easily by spending $20-$25 on a token, right? You can get a good chunk of gold. So you could spend a lot of money to get a boost and they can charge more gold so they can get more gold in game to buy more stuff without them having to put money in.
Like, put anybody else in that position and imagine them tweeting this out. It's just kind of cringe. It really is. When you read through it and realize who this guy actually is, I just don't think, like...
No,
he really, like... you have an audience at this point, right? And you're coming off of a fresh start on a serious situation where they made a huge turnover to improve the company. This, even if you didn't intend for this to be like, I'm not that important, this is what I've done in the past anyways, here we go. I mean, the fact is, like, now you have a bigger platform that you're communicating from, and
yeah, you're up on the you're up on the soapbox. I don't think boosting killed the game. I don't think it's that impactful to the game, because really, when it boils down to it, it's a temporary thing anyway. Because you get boosted through fucking heroic on a thing. Wow, you maybe get some yield and you get a fucking title. Big fucking.
Did you ever do the gamble? Did you ever do the gambling?
The friendship moose one where you could like. No. Back when it was what was it? Hellfire Citadel in Legion. There was a streamer. Was it Automatic Jack?
Mm-hmm.
Who would
there were a bunch of them. But
I never got it, but I did one of those two. Yeah.
Right.
No. I was gonna say in Lich King, whenever the trial of the blah 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 was active,
Trial of the Crusader.
Yeah, so with the raid, you could spend so much gold in bidding or something like that. I think no. You paid to raid, right? And then if you got something from the raid, like if the raid didn't DE it, then whatever you paid, I don't know what the entry fee was, 1,000, 2,000 gold, something like that, 5,000, I don't know, whatever. And then you raided together, like everybody paid, and whoever didn't take an item was in the pool to split the gold at the end.
I mean,
there was a name for it. It was really cool. I thought it was awesome.
I don't
because
think
at
that's
that point,
a bad thing, because you're all getting something, right?
Exactly. Like, and I think that was the whole point. And I think that, like at that point, the stuff like that, even in a situation where if the token existed during the Lich King, like people would have used it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and there's really no difference. And I'm sorry, if you are willing to pay the money to get decked out in heroic Sanctum of Domini. I couldn't remember that right now.
Oh yeah, Sod
if you're willing to pay the money to get decked out in gear, or at least for a run for the head of the curve, then so be it. Like what? There's nothing competitive there at that point. I'm sorry, there's just not.
You're not paying to get carried for a world first. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. No, I mean that.
And that's mythic, So I don't know. I
don't. At that point, like, who cares? Like, if you get geared in Mythic Pluses and stuff just because you paid for it, I'm sorry, but like, some of us that don't have time to sit in structured groups and stuff like that, if I was that deep into it and I wanted to be that geared out, and that was an option that I pay a couple $100 over time and I'm geared all the way up, and it's not like I just go buy stuff out of the shop, you know what I mean? I still have to put effort into something. Then that's like a mercenary. That's like hiring a mercenary at that point, isn't it? From a fantasy perspective, not reality. It really isn't that much different. Now I'm just speaking about the topic specifically, not through this guy. I think this guy, his perspective is completely different because of his role and responsibility, and I think there's just some inherent not risk. There's inherent responsibility there when, in terms of social media and your private time, that you should be cognizant of, because it's not good. It's not good for you, even if it's in reality not that big of a deal, and even if one side's going to get super pissed and the other side's not. It's just not something you should probably do. Right? Keep it on the DL. If everybody knows that it'd be like the president tweeting out that he's doing Mythic Plus sales runs. So, like, dude, don't you got better shit to do? Come on. No, I'm gonna be taking a bunch of people through. We're gonna be doing some Mythic Plus tonight with China. Sorry, Kristen, I interrupted you, and I apologize.
Nah, it's fine. I have a different opinion on that. I don't think you should like pay to. It's a game that you're supposed to be playing to, you know what I mean? To get that stuff and to work towards it. It's supposed to be a goal that you work towards, not a goal that you, okay, here I have, $100. I'm just gonna, go in and, skip the whole gearing up process or skip that whole, blah, blah, blah process. I don't think that that's the way, it undermines the whole point of an MMO, which was to spend time in the world and progress yourself slowly instead of just saying, well, here's $100. I'm just gonna,
So
the sucky part is like they created that system too, though. Like,
yeah,
the whole.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that people don't have time, don't have a lot of time, a lot of people started playing when they were in high school and college. And, the game has been going for how many years now? 17. So, yeah. So people have grown out of that, obviously. If you're still in college 17 years later, that's a long time.
Hey.
17 years
That's impressive.
later.
Hey.
That's
If you can afford that.
Yeah, that is very impressive if you can afford that.
I don't know. I like community college. It was kind of fun.
So the thing about that is, right, is that we are all of a older generation of MMO players.
Yeah.
Right? So we were around in pretty much like the beginning of like the MMO eras, right? Where things were like that. And that was all you had. We necessarily understand the appeal of doing something and getting
rewarded
for the effort.
Yeah.
And as time has progressed and as the game has shifted, the general concept, and this doesn't apply to all younger players or anything like that, because there's plenty of them out there that put in the time to do all the stuff, but there is a new subset of players to where that's not as important. And I think that if they want to do that, it doesn't impact me. And I think that we play with enough like-minded people to where nobody's doing that. You know what I mean? We don't know anybody that's paying for carries or whatever. I can't even remember anybody that's ever done that I know of off the top of my head, right?
I do. I know somebody who did.
And maybe I do. And
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but
You do, but
it wasn't me.
it wasn't
Damn it, Jim.
It wasn't.
But I mean, we did do the thing with the streamer where we did the
Yeah.
lottery to get it, and and that wasn't a paid thing, but it was still a carry.
Right. And that was and you're right. It's not something that we've done, like we did it that one time, and that was because we weren't raiding. We didn't have a guild to raid with at that time. So
Brian.
we didn't have a guild. Well, we had a
WoD
guild,
sucks.
but nobody
Sorry.
was raiding.
Actually, no. I got banned for botting in WoD. I forgot about that.
I was not going to say that. You just...
Well, I was
But
about to correct
anyway-
you because actually the reality is, even when I played Ultima Online and EverQuest, even Star Wars Galaxies, all three of those games, I spent money and bought shit, or even
Well, then...
so EverQuest used to have a thing where you could buy platinum through eBay. Ultima Online
Holy
had
shit.
Ultima Online used to have a thing called the UO Trade Post, where you could buy items and gold from other people and stuff like that. It's like a little mini eBay, but for UO specifically. Star Wars Galaxies. I used to buy credits on on eBay. I even bought an automated clicker on eBay to help me craft stuff in Star Wars.
I will retract my statement and say, Kristen and I
Kristen and I did what?
did not or understand the value of putting in effort and stuff like that. We didn't buy stuff to advance.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
not
mean?
to say that's the only thing I ever did, but there was situations where like
But you have a history of doing
even
that stuff.
even in what? What'd she say?
You have a
history of doing that stuff, right? That's something that because you valued your time more than you valued your money, right?
It depends.
Right.
Depends. Like sometimes I just get so bored, and I do like things to work for me instead of me working for them. So
Right. No,
I
I get it, and I'm fine with that. If that's something you want to do and it doesn't cause anything in the game to be unbalanced or out of whack, like if it doesn't give you if it doesn't fuck up the economy, or if it doesn't fucking, impact something that really makes it unfair for everybody else, it doesn't make it pay to win.
This is where it kind of does, though, right? Because Raider.io. So they liked Raider.io so much that they're adding it into the game. So it even more. So people paying for those runs and paying for their Raider.io scores means that if you were to go and pug, not that I ever do, but if you were, and people are going through and looking at scores, they're going to be like, oh, this person has a 2000 Raider.io. This person has an 800 Raider.io. I'm going to take the person with 2000. So it is impacting.
Okay. I guess you could say that does have a thing, but are people paying that kind of money to get geared up, or are they paying that kind of money just to get the ahead of the curve achievements where it's like a one-off thing?
Oh, they're Mythic Pluses too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and that's where it impacts people, and that's where it sucks, because think about when I did go to pug in Mythic Pluses, I didn't have a problem because I play a Boomkin. So they were historically good in Mythic Pluses, right? So I didn't really have a problem. But think about all the people who don't play the meta specs, right? Who are trying to get into those Mythic Plus runs, but they're not because, they have a lower IO score and they don't buy their stuff, and you know what I mean? So suddenly you're not competitive anymore, and you're not a valued player, even if you would be, because you didn't spend any money on that.
If it's that important to you, you start the group yourself and you control it.
You're right, you could do that.
So again, that kind of undercuts the argument. And I'm not trying to say that your argument is wrong. I'm just saying that there are other options.
Sure, there are other options, but
and
just it still sucks.
I mean,
you shouldn't necessarily have to do those other options, right? I don't know. It just.
I mean, but even if you took out the token, people would still do that. And it's not like, and they're trying to do stuff.
But we're also assuming a hell of a lot for the token itself. Like, there's definitely I don't think there's any.
Well,
I don't think there's a real. I mean, other than the fact that that you can buy it with real money, we don't have an association to how much is happening just through the idea of using the token to get said gold to get those runs done.
You're right.
So
there are other ways to make gold in game. You could go to Moonguard and dance on a table, and probably make.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What? Go to the Moonguard server?
Oh, okay, no, you can make gold doing that. Are you serious?
I'm sorry. It's not just Moonguard, but it's Goldshire. Is it Goldshire? Goldshire on the Moonguard server. Make an alliance character, just go over there and just take off all your armor and just dance on the table. People give you fucking gold because that's like the unofficial ERP server.
Yeah.
Goldshire is a very, very, very scary place.
No, I knew about that in general. I didn't know that you could get tips for dancing.
I mean, you can get tips for everything.
Yeah, you can get just the tips.
You can do ERP for gold too, and people do that.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think you can get
it just for the tip.
Yeah. but obviously the token made getting in-game gold easier, which just makes this kind of stuff more lucrative, and they can charge more.
Yeah.
That's all. And, and it's just like, obviously what it would do is if they took the token out of the equation, it would just mean they'd be doing the same thing. Anyway, I don't think that it's that bad that he did it. Like, you're right. He's like the fucking co-leader of the whole company. Probably should have thought about it before doing it, because his word is akin to gospel.
I can't get over it because they had the office had co-managers at one point.
Did they?
Yeah.
Was it co-assistant managers, and it was Jim and
Well, it was Jim and it was Michael. They were co-managers at one point. Whenever the company traded owners or whatever,
they
it
got
was
bought by Saber or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that.
It was some of the later stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know why. I don't know why they decided to do that for the leadership. Don't know. Don't care. It's besides the point. But yeah, you're right. He is in a position of power, and he's readily in the public eye.
He's
and
basically saying this is okay, know, which, I mean, it was basically said okay when they when they let everybody know, when the World First Guild let everybody know how much money they spend on those World First things.
Yeah,
really? How much?
But
oh my God, they spend a lot.
They priced out the gold, right, and how much real world money it would be. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
So they would basically say, was it thousands, tens of thousands?
Thousands.
It was a lot of real world money worth of gold. So if you were to buy that much gold in game for tokens, like, it would have been X amount of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And what they do is they spend the off season filling up the guild coffers by selling runs, and by doing that stuff, so that when it comes time for World First stuff, they can buy all their consumables, they can buy their gems and gear and all that other kind of stuff.
Gear, mainly, because gear is BOE and it shouldn't be. Like, that's
gear that's that good shouldn't be BOE.
That's one of the problems. But buying the BOE gear and, going to different servers and getting gear from, and transferring, and you know what I mean?
I think at that point, the issue with that is just the availability of it.
But
if they lower the drop rate of it, then you can't have some consistent level of availability for it, or supply, rather.
I guess we've talked about that too, where making something like that drop less often, making it it's more special that way. And
yeah, because at that point, like, if you jump on the auction house and you can afford it, and you're not one of the, you know what I mean? Like, if you're just a regular Joe, and you hop on and you can afford that just right then and there, and you're like, oh wow, boom, got it. And then, like, you either resell it or use it.
Okay. So the only problem I have with making, like, the BOE drops less rare or more rare, like drop less often, is that it really affects people like us.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Who are just playing normally.
And, like, when we get a BOE, what do we do? Oh, I can use it.
Yeah. But we're talking about normal versus, like, mythic level BOEs, right? I mean,
no, it's not mythic.
There's
it would be heroic, first off, because that's where they'd be farming the stuff for, because that would give them the better.
Even still, like, I mean, it's not like something we're actively out there buying and people are getting to help bump themselves up. And even in that case, like,
well,
yeah, I think, I mean, a lot of times, honestly, the BOEs and the raids in general, they really should just be BOPs or BOEs for the raid people themselves, like, not resellable in that case. Tradable to raid.
The only problem with that is that when they BOEs drop, if you get a BOE, it's going to be whatever your armor class is, right? And there have been times where I've gotten them and they've just been plate, and I'm the only fucking plate wearer there. You know what I mean? So it's just like, now it's just like,
from my perspective, like, I think it would be better if it was just a part of the raid loot table in general, instead of something that you can take and go sell. That's all I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you go inside the instance, now you can almost guarantee that maybe something might drop on trash at some point.
You'll
and then
never
there's a regular
you'll never
boss
get those
stuff.
red shards though, the blood ones. Never.
Oh my God.
Never gonna happen.
You need to just make sure you don't already have all 3 of them, and you don't
I
have
don't.
one
I
equipped
have 2. I've had 2 for
Do you have one-
years now.
for years.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about it. So
Let me tell you,
I got all of
Brian,
them.
we miss you.
Yeah.
We miss you.
But we're not.
I
We're not
mean,
here
I
to,
miss you guys, but I don't miss the game.
we're not here to talk about
No, no.
Brian.
But we miss you playing the game.
We've been pugging.
Yes. And I've been healing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're usually
We don't
always like
have
1 or
enough
2
people.
short.
Yeah. but
But,
it's okay.
Anyway, I could see taking BOEs in raids and making the drop chance lower the higher the tier up is. So like in normal it could stay the same, and then like in heroic it would be dropped down to be even less likely, so you don't get as many as it goes up, because normal ones aren't going to be necessarily as beneficial as the heroic ones are, right? And part of that too is just like the stat optimization and all that kind of stuff too. But
they could still do different things. Like go back to, if people are running raids, they drop materials that they can build an item with whatever profession they have or something, right? There's different ways. There's so many different ways they could just solve the same problem.
the thing
You know
is,
what I
is
mean?
they got an easy solution and they're going to stick with it.
It's
Like-
just
And that's what sucks, though, is that their
Yeah.
solution is always moving the weight to the other side of the scale. It's,
Yeah.
it's like, and it's just enough for it to teeter back this way over time. And they do it again, then do it again.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, I guess on a lighter note, though, we finally got a release date for the 9.15 patch, and it's coming out November 2nd.
That's good.
Yeah, you guys are so excited about it.
Look it. Do you see what I'm doing?
Oh, God, she's logging into WoW. She's probably just going to make sure guild repairs are turned off and log out.
Oh shit.
wow.
Did I turn them off?
I think so. I don't know.
I think I did.
I can't tell you the last time I've been so excited about a 0.5 patch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just full of shit. Shut up. I don't know. I like it. It's going to make leveling on my Death Knights easier. Oh,
All right, well, what's the highlight?
So covenant swapping, no charges for your things to replace your slot thingies on your trees for whatever the fuck that's called. What are those things called?
Oh, the conduits.
Yeah, no conduit energy.
That's good.
Skippable maw. It's mainly just cosmetics and quality of life stuff.
Mage Tower. Just say Mage
Well,
Tower.
that doesn't come out until December. Legion doesn't go.
Mother-
The Legion time walking doesn't go active until the first week in December or something like that.
So see, there's nothing to be excited about.
I don't know. Lately, I have done nothing but log on to all my characters that are like level 50 or higher, and gone and run Utgard Pinnacle like every day to try and get that
Utgard Pinnacle.
to try and get that fucking blue proto drake. I think I got about like 5 characters left, and that's like I'm not doing it on the alliance side, but on the horde side, that's every class, so that's 12 plus the other races as death knights, so that's another 11 death knights. I've been doing that, just running in, killing that guy, and then hearthing out, and I still haven't fucking got that goddamn mount.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sorry.
Do you want to feel old? Do you want to feel old right now?
I already
God,
feel old,
please.
but okay.
Please make me feel
Do you want to feel really old right now? Legion came out over 5 years ago.
Really?
That's it?
That doesn't make me feel old.
That's it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
5 years?
dude, I'm old enough that 5 years is jack shit.
5 years.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
not
can
the same thing as
still,
saying Wrath came out fucking in 2008.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's much longer ago, but even still, Legion, as warm as it is, still in our hearts. 5 years.
Yeah.
Now put that into perspective of World of Warcraft. That's what, 2.5 expansions worth of time? Holy manjolies. I will say, I kind of forgot about the whole Mythic Plus in Legion as well.
Yeah, it'll have its own affixes too.
Might come back for that if we can muster folks together. Like, I think I might actually jump back on and play that.
That might be interesting, yeah, because it'll count towards your vault. You won't be able to get Legion gear out of the vault. You'll still just get regular.
It's just if I don't have to go to Shadowlands, if I just stay out of Shadowlands, that'd be all right. That'd be okay. Be all right with that. You let me know when we're ready to hunt the Transformer.
Which Transformer?
His name's not the Primus. Holio. Cornholio.
Oh, the jailer?
Yeah, but he's actually...
Zoval?
Yeah, gummit. What was the robot's name thingy that made all the decisions?
Huh?
Man, I forgot a lot.
The Arbiter?
The Arbiter. There you go. Ye old Arbiter.
I don't know if the Arbiter's even functional anymore because that's where the final key is.
No, it's not. I was trying to refer to the jailer as his original role and responsibility.
Oh yeah, I forgot that there's actually lore in this expansion.
Right?
Look at that.
See?
I can actually have other conduit things. So I was neutering myself with healing during the raid because I wasn't all the way down the list of the conduit stuff. So that's good.
I hit 80 on my renowned, so it's maxed now.
Oh, I'm at what's my renown?
59 or 60.
60. It's 60 now.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
at
only
renown
20
60.
behind.
Yeah, and I'm only getting renowned from doing the raids. Like that's legitimately the only.
Well,
so did we ever actually talk about
boosting?
the rename for? No, the rename for the Overwatch character. I just noticed that.
No, it just came out. Like I just saw something about it that they just renamed the character.
Know? Yeah, we knew they were going to rename him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it before.
And what did they name it? Cole Cassidy or something like that?
Cole Cassidy. That's interesting. What was his full name before?
Jesse McCree.
Yes.
Oh, his
Yes.
actual. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Jesse McCree.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the name.
The name. Not just the name. It was the name.
It was the name.
Yep.
Yeah, it was his full name.
Man.
Yep. It was a thing.
They couldn't have just changed it to like Jesse McPhee.
Not to feel compassion for the dude or anything that he did ever, but imagine being in that situation and like having your life flipped upside down and you can't control anything about it and being that ingrained into this part of the community or society or whatever.
What if
to the point where
what if his name is now just so bad that he can't do anything and he goes and he gets his name legally changed to Cole Cassidy?
oh my god, he's so obsessed with it. He's like, I have to be that. And he gets it changed. That would be hilarious.
That's our conspiracy corner for the week. It's conspiracy corner.
Oh, no.
That would be fucked up. Could you imagine that? Like
that
how
weird.
How like messed up would that guy have to be to do that? Now, I'm not saying he's gonna do that.
I was gonna say you're pretty much.
He's sitting in his tidy whities and white dirty socks and a wife beater
with
and
a cowboy hat
somewhere.
Oh,
with
no.
a cowboy hat and spurs going.
No.
God damn it! I am Jesse McCree.
No.
How dare you?
No. Stop that.
I'm Cole Cassidy.
It's high noon.
I'm Dirty Dan. No, I'm Dirty Dan.
Oh my god, you guys are ridiculous.
It's high noon. It's time to change my name.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's terrible.
What a crazy world.
I just thought that. Yeah, that just popped into my head. That what if he fucking changed his? And then would they
I think you should.
What if they did? What if he was just bitter and jaded that they changed the name of that character and he just goes and legally changes his name to it every time? What if he?
That would be so fucking weird.
That would be.
If they get like some restraining order from him getting a name,
Oh my
like
God.
changing it to the same name,
I don't know if
or
you
they
could
sue him for it. Like, you could probably sue for it?
I don't think you
I
can
don't- well, I
sue
don't
somebody for
know,
changing
yeah.
their name. I
Oh
mean,
my, this is getting crazy.
that would be fucked up, man.
They could trademark the name somehow.
You can't
and then
trademark a
use
name
it
like
for the
that.
character. No. You can trademark a name, right? As a trademark,
But
and
he's
then
not-
use it for the character.
But if he's not selling himself,
They probably
by
couldn't
his
sue
name,
him for that, though.
right? So, like, I mean, there's somebody that changed their name to like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, or something like that, like some weird, like, stupid thing like that. It's like you can't fucking tell
Why is that
somebody
stupid,
they
Jim?
I love how we've already made him super creepy, and we're making it so now he's just even more creepy. So he's just gonna change the name, right? Change his name, like.
No, it's
where
like-
did that come from?
in my mind, that's how the world is gonna work, and it's just some weird warped reality where that's just who he is. Don't know this guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't even
think
know
about
this
it.
guy
I mean,
existed.
he is Cole Cassidy.
Like, I didn't know this guy existed until this shit happened, and they said, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's got the same name." You know, I was like, I didn't know who
Crazy,
the fuck he
isn't it?
was, but
Yeah, I know. Me
it's just
either.
like in my mind now.
Now
he's just
you
like,
do.
in my mind now, he's just sitting in a dark room with the lights turned down, just sitting at the screen, going, filling out a name change.
I
form.
actually do not really want to imagine what this dude's life is like because I'm pretty sure it's shit, and
Probably
I'm pretty sure it's
shit.
going to be shit for a long time. And they
Yeah.
probably ruined his life completely
Yeah.
over one mistake that, in any other situation, to a certain extent, probably could have been forgivable.
5-10 years ago, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, I mean,
Not like this.
I hate to get into
No,
it again, but
I mean,
like
it's
the,
just that
the reality is like
I don't
people
know
go
if
around
that,
setting the world on
because-
fire without the regards to the
Didn't-
way people's lives are going to wind up being.
Didn't somebody end up committing suicide though from that stuff? Like,
This stuff?
Yeah.
Or from
But
the stuff that they did?
But
from,
yes.
That I don't
so
know.
I mean that.
Yeah, I think there was.
Yeah. So
but
I mean,
from him directly, I have no idea.
right. Yeah, same. But
the
I
thing
mean,
is, like, okay, the thing is, like, yeah, you went to the stupid party thing, and now you're magically associated with all of it,
right.
and now your life is completely upside down and ruined, and there's fat chance that you're even going to be able to get a job after this.
Right. Right.
And now what? You probably had a wife or spouse, and you had children, or you had, you know what I mean, children or grandchildren, right? You had responsibilities that you can't take care of now because the world just decided that because
right.
you have bad timing or bad association with other people,
right.
that you can no longer
Sure.
be forgiven.
If the world, like, if they had come across and somebody had straight up said, okay, well, he was involved in this, yes. If it's just, society determining it, yes, there's a problem.
He's been deemed guilty in the court of public opinion
Right.
by the loud voices of the cancel culture, and that's it.
Right.
Regardless of what role he played in it, whether he was just there or played an active part, it's irrelevant at this point because he's already been convicted and he's already suffered the consequences because they sacked him and all this other stuff. And it's just like, at that point, it's like, when is, enough? It's like, there's this whole concept of due process about how you can't be charged and thrown in jail for something until you get your fucking day in court through the actual legal system. It's like that kind of stuff is like all being bypassed now. Now, what the company decides to do is what the company decides to do. However, they're most likely knee-jerk reactions based on public opinion at this point, and that again is, circumventing any type of actual thing that goes along with it. So I don't know. It's a fucking mess.
strange thing, and I think it's a part of the information age
Right.
And
Right.
I think at this point, like, unfortunately, I think that whole ordeal is just, other than the seriousness part of it, the potentially wrongful associations of anyone, it's just a byproduct of the transformation into this age.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're just close enough to have those skeletons in the closet that are now way more evident than they probably were originally.
Right.
And even if it speaks out of context, right, differently, at this point, it is what it is, and they're just going to be a byproduct of that. So,
In some instances, that stuff is good, right? Because, you know, in like...
I mean, overall, it's going to be a good thing to weed it out over time. People are going to suffer, though. It is the bad part,
Well,
right?
The
in a culture where we are forgiving each other for things that are much worse or much less worse than this, like, you know, that's what seems so odd. Like, yes, if you have driven someone to commit suicide, you should be held accountable,
Right.
even in the court of law, for that, because that is a thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that should be handled appropriately. But in the case where, like, you're in the good old boy club 10 years ago and you had a text message with a bunch of people and now you're just forever associated with this, like, how is this a thing? Whenever we let people go to jail, you know, rehabilitate themselves for reentry into society, but yet we set this person on fire because they're a witch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like, it's just,
We don't.
there's
give
a certain
them...
extent at which, like, an opportunity to, you know, I mean, if it's that bad and they haven't committed, you know, a legal thing, you know what I mean? It make them pay the right way.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing worse than one, letting them be a public fool of themselves. Two, give them a chance to come back from it.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I won't go back into it. I know we've talked about this so much.
I know. It's frustrating that it seems like everything just kind of devolves into that or comes back to that, you know?
It does, because that's where it all stems from.
Yeah, I know. It's just frustrating.
It's all Cole Cassidy's fault.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, we're going to say, fuck you, Cole Cassidy. And we're going to go ahead and call it a week. I mean...
A week.
Bye,
call it a week.
Yeah.
We're done calling it a day.
Cole
We're calling it a week.
Come kiss me.
Whoa.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Before Brian starts singing and, you know, starts crooning, we're going to go ahead and call it for the night. You can check us out at facebook.com.
Play some Phasmophobia. What?
You can check us out at facebook.com/server-restart-in. Shoot us a tweet at server_restart, including your favorite fish. I guess that's still open.
I'm playing WoW right now.
That's great. Everybody have a good week, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.